Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Okay, that's done. That's done. Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare. Okay, I have so many windows open. Just give me 1 minute. I'm gonna make sure that it'll be, yeah. Okay. Now share this one. So you can see the screen now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiret. Nastprayasva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastaki. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत और राधा कांता नमस्ते तप्त कंचना गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी प्रसाद सतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम संकीर्तन की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णवेंद्र की जय नित्य गौरा प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल की जय हरे कृष्णा सेकंड canto 7th chapter scheduled incarnations with specific functions. Extremely beautiful chapter. And on the slide, you can see all the incarnations of Supreme Lord Jai. Thank you. See how many incarnations, Lord, too. So this is very powerful chapter, extremely powerful chapter. I'll give you some background and then we'll get into discussion. So we just finished chapter 5 and 6, where Lord Brahma and Narad Muni is discussing. Narad is approaching Lord Brahma and asking, can you please help me understand? I thought you are the original creator, but I see you are always meditating upon somebody who you meditate upon. And can you please confirm if you are the original creator or there is somebody else who creates? Lord Brahma said that be assured that my words are very truthful. What I am saying is very truthful. Elsewhere it says that Lord Brahma studied Veda 3 times to formally conclude that Lord Krishna is the creator. So he starts giving Lord Brahma, when he say he, Lord Brahma starts giving the process of creation. He says that let me help you understand this Purusha avatar, which is Karnadakshay Vishnu, Shivadakshay Vishnu, Gavadakshay Vishnu. And then he talks about how the creation takes place. And then he says that all I do is that take these elements that are created by Lord and fill up these all planets with the living being. So in very technical language, there are two terms, Sarga and Visarga. Sarga and Visarga. Sarga is primary creator, and primary creator is Lord Himself, Krishna, Sarvakaran Karanam. And Visarga, which is secondary creator, is Lord Brahma. So after giving the process of creation, Lord Brahma continued talking with Narada Muni, and he said that whatever I have told you, Krishna has also said the same thing, 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Whatever I have told you is just a minute fraction of Lord's potency. Let me explain you other forms and incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this concept is very, very important because in a society right now, there are different people of different mindset, and very prominent mindset is theism versus atheism, right? There are people who believe that there is no God. And there are people like us who believe that there is God, but also due to our conditioning and faulty endeavor, we are not relishing, we are not seeing the presence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Antarbharavasthitam. Kunti says, Namasya Purushotvadyam Ishwaram Prakriti Param Alaksham Sarvabhutanam Antarbharavasthitam. You are inside and you are outside. Inside you are as super soul, and outside is this Virat Roop. When we understand the concept of Virat Roop teaches us that everything from lower planetary system to higher planetary system, everything is limb of the Supreme Lord. So outside, in fact, everything that we are seeing is nothing but form of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Brahma says that let me help you understand that not only Krishna comes at the time of creation. I just told you about Purusha, but in fact, he keeps on coming and helping all the living entities who are positioned on different planetary system. Paritanaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuga yuga. I have taken many incarnations, Krishna says. I keep on coming to protect dharma and to annihilate miscreant. So Lord Brahma, along the same line, continues in this chapter. He says that not only that, but he is the one who is basically supporting and sustaining this material creation. So that is the core essential teaching from this chapter. So I'll just give you the essential learning that's coming out of this chapter so that you have what ultimately you are going to learn, and then finally we can expand. So the very last verse of previous chapter, Lord Brahma is saying that Pradhaniyatoyan Rish Amanati Lila Avtaram Purushasya Bhumanah Apiyatam Karna Kashaya Shoshan Anukarmiyashe Taimam Supasena Supesan. So Pradhaniyatoyan Rish Amanati Anukarmasya Tamimam. You know, Supreme Personality of God had multiple uh, incarnation, Ashankhya Avatarane. We have studied. This chapter is very similar to uh, third chapter of first canto, where we says that Krishna is cause of all the incarnation. The similar concept is here, but there it's spoken by sages of Namisaranya, and here it's personally spoken by Lord Brahma. He is confirming the same truth that was spoken before by sages. So Pradhanayato, there are many incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead, but let me tell you some principal incarnations. Anukarmaya. Let them put those principal incarnation in order, such as Lord's Lila Avatar and his Purusha Avatar that he took to this universe. And then he says, Karn Kashaya Shoshan. By hearing this, so just by hearing this different incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Karn Kashaya. Kashaya is basically impurities. Impurities that we have in our heart. He says, Karn Kasaya Shoshan. Karn means, Karna here is referring to hearing. By hearing these various incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the impurity that we have in our heart, that will be removed or that will be cleansed. Cleaning of the heart will happen when we hear these multiple incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, why this chapter is important? First bullet point is this is confirmed by Lord Brahma that how this material world is conducted by Supreme Personality of Godhead. That one aspect. Out of many opulences of Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Narad, know that taking care of this material world, maintenance and creation and annihilation, all of that is in fact done by Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's one aspect. The second aspect is that living entity should hear about it. We should hear about it. Guna Rupa Nam Nam, Lord's gun means quality, Rupa his deity form, Nam his holy name. Living entity, by engaging in his uh, pastime hearing, worshipping his deity form, and chanting his holy name, Karn Kasaya Shoshan, all the impurity that is there in the heart, that impurity will be cleaned. Chetodarpana marginam mahadavagan nirvapanam. This heart will become clean. So let me tell you. See, this is coming from Lord Brahma. So we have to take it granted. Okay. So I'll just expand on this before I get into this details. So in this chapter, first 39 verses that we are going to see is going to talk various incarnations of the Lord, such as his Leela Avatar, Manmantra Avatar, Saktavasesa Avatar. All of that incarnations are going to be given to us, and also what are the purpose of Lord's appearance. And then there is a special focus on Lord Krishna's activity and his appearance, and then how and what form he takes in this age of Kali Yuga. What are his incarnations in the age of Kali Yuga? And finally, Guna Avatar. So Lila Avatar, Man Mantra, Saktavesh Avatar, Purusha Avatar, we have seen before, Guna Avatar, all of these incarnations are, and Yuga Avatar also, says that various activities of Lord Krishna. in the age of Kali Yuga. So Yugata also. So all of these incarnations are mentioned here. But Pradhanayato. Now the word, that's why I brought this verse. Pradhanayato means principal incarnations, not all the incarnations, but more than what we have seen in third chapter of first canto. So we'll basically read verse by verse. I have summary. So I would like one of you to read, because it says that by reading, by hearing these activities and incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead, it purifies the heart. Karn Kasaya Shoshan. Shoshan means absorb, cleanse. The impurity that we have in our heart, that impurity is going to be taken out. So we should hear. So that's why I would like to hear. We'll just read verse by verse. We have to hear this pastime. Then after going through all of these incarnations, he says it's very difficult. Although I told you this, but it's very, very difficult to understand the greatness of Lord and his compassion. Very difficult, he says. Normally, one cannot understand it. But, he says, but one who is surrendered and engaged in devotional service, that person can understand. So, very important point to be noted. It says, Lord Burma is saying, so we have to take as it is. That is teaching. That's what we have to teach to the people. Okay, you cannot believe me. Prabhupada said that I'm nothing, I'm just a postman. So being a postman is very important. Lord Burma is also acting as a postman, just presenting what is presented in Veda. So he's saying that it's very difficult to understand that Lord. But by bhakti, he says even Anant Sesa, thousands of his, we mostly say that this is referred here in this chapter. Even Anant Sesa, with thousands of his hood, he cannot, so not only one mouth, thousands of the mouth is engaged in glorifying Supreme Personality of Godhead. With thousands mouth, he is always engaged and he cannot come to the end of it. So how living entity can come? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj says the same thing before he starts writing the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, my dear Lord, even Anant Sesa cannot glorify who you are. And I'm 90 years old now, and I have this inspiration coming in my heart that I should write. How can I finish it? How can I complete it? So inability, feeling unable, weakness is one of the symptoms of advancement also. The one who feels weak, you should take shelter of that person, because whatever degree of meekness and weakness you feel, that degree you have protection of Krishna. Very important concept. Sometimes we think that I'm the doer, I'm the smartest most, I'm the intelligent, this and that. All this comes, that is separation, separation from Krishna. The one who breaks, the one who is meek, the one who is humble, that person has most or more protection from Krishna. The more you feel unable, the more able you are in Krishna consciousness. So Lord Brahma knows, although he's saying in the previous chapter also, that I know some, but I also don't know everything, Lord Brahma. So how about, a living entity? For sure, living entity cannot know the Supreme Lord. But he says one who is surrender, they can understand Lord mercy. So how that understanding develops? Understanding develops that Brahmameti, Bhagwaniti Sabdati. He says that Brahman is one form of understanding, Paramatma is another. and Bhagwan is the superior understanding. So that is why we are not too much critical about any process, any process. Prabhupada's right in his purports that both the mosque, churches, and temples, they all have their utility. The people who are going to these places, they're going with true intent, right intent. They all are the process of advancement. So this brotherhood on very advanced stage, one has to understand that there is only one Lord, and in different form, different features, he is being worshipped. So Lord Brahma says that it's very difficult, it's impossible to understand his mercy and who the Lord is, his greatness, but through devotion one can understand. And this understanding, he says, develops through Brahman, from Brahman through Paramatma to Bhagwan. And all other, process such as karma and gyan prayas that are being done. And if the goal of that karma and gyan prayas is not to understand Supreme Personality of Godhead, if it's not to understand who the Lord is, then it's useless. He says this is inferior activity. So after giving all of these teachings, now what are the teaching he has given? Lord Brahma has given the teaching of the process of creation. He gave the teaching of all the incarnations and their functions. And then he says that it's very difficult to understand Lord, but through devotional service, one can understand him. And then, very important segment of discussion, he says that take this teaching and give it to people. Teach about it, he says. Take this knowledge, go and distribute. So what we distribute? We distribute the knowledge that is uh, given to us. Distribute this Srimad Bhagavatam, which I have explained to you. That's what Lord Narad does, right? He taught Dhuru Maharaj, he taught Prahlad Maharaj, he taught everybody. Wherever there is need, Vegari hunter, wherever there is need to teach this teaching, he will appear there. So that's the essential learning. This gives a very good flow that what is presented in this chapter, and this one we have to carry on in back of our mind. Before we get into the technical details of this chapter, I would like to make sure that you understand this. So, Lord has his expansions in his abode, Golok Vrindavan. So Swam Bhagwan is Lord Sri Krishna. And then he has his Prabhu Prakash and Vaibhav Prakash. Prakash means, image, which means none different than Lord himself. So Lord Balram, Srimati Radharani, we always say that there are three different body but one soul. That's why they are. This is teaching of Mahaprabhu given to Sanatana Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is very bona fide message that we have to understand. And then Lord Balram expands into his different form in Vaikuntha. Okay, so in Vaikuntha there is Prabhavilas and then there is Vaibhav Vilas. And from Vaibhav Vilas, Lord Narayan comes, and then from Lord Narayan, Dvitiya Chaturvivaha comes, and then all the forms of the Vishnu comes. So I'm not getting into details of that. If needed, I can get. But all of these forms of Supreme Personality of Godhead that is in the Vaikuntha are called Vilas form. Vilas means Aishwarya, opulence. So Vaikuntha is filled up with the forms of Lord Vishnu. And you saw the slide in the previous class, you know, that there are different circle. Like for example, in Goloka, there are different petals, and those petals are different rasa. Likewise, in Vaikuntha, Lakshmi and Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu and and Lakshmi, they are nothing but Radha and Krishna in the mode of Aishwarya. They are the presiding deity. And around them, there are different forms of Lord Vishnu. And then also the same Lord expands to the material world. So Lord has, if you try to understand, this is very simple concept. The same Lord, Swayambhu Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he has expanded in a spiritual world at his abode, Goloka, right? So Goloka, you will hear that there is Surabhi cow, there is, desired trees. Whatever you ask the trees will fulfill. And then there are devotees of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Gopa, Gopis, Krishna is playing with them, right? So all of that you are studying in 10th canto, the abode of Supreme Personality of Godhead, those all are there, and they are expansions of Lord Himself. Okay. Some of them are engaged in serving as Prabhu Prakash. Srimati Radharani is the head of that. Some of them are serving in Vaibhav, and Lord Balaram is head of that. So that's the expansions and creation in the spiritual world. And then there is Vaikuntha. So Vaikuntha is also a spiritual world, and Goloka is also a spiritual world. But according to our teaching, Goloka is higher than Vaikuntha. And then Lord has incarnations in the material world. So that's the point we are going to learn. So this is same Lord who comes to material world, and then he takes Purusha avatar, three Purusha avatar, and then multiple Lila avatars, Guna avatar, Yuga avatar, Man Mantra avatar, and Sakta Vases avatar. So all of these incarnations are incarnations in the material universe. It's very important to understand. These are the incarnations of Supreme Lord in the. That's why the word avatar, incarnations, is being used. Somebody who descend. From where he descends. Lord can descend from Vaikuntha. Lord can descend from Goloka to material world. Mukti Artham, Bhoga Artham. Okay. So this is the concept. Again, this is just a way to present this understanding. Okay. So in this chapter, we are going to see some of these names and some of these incarnations. So Purusha Avatar, Karnadakshay Vishnu, Gavadakshay Vishnu, Chiyadakshay Vishnu, they are called Srishti Avatar. They are the cause of material manifestations, not only our universe, but there are millions and billions of universes like ours. And source of all of that is these three persons. Now we understand, we have seen multiple times the roles of Karnadakshay, Gavadakshay Vishnu, and Chiyadakshay Vishnu. And then in material world, once it's created, then Lord comes for a particular pastime, and those are the Lila avatar. Okay, those are the Lila avatar. So we are going to see many of these names in this chapter. This is not all inclusive list, but we have few, for example. And then Lord also takes Guna avatar, such as Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, Shiv, right? And then Yuga avatar, Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kali Yuga. In every Yuga, there is a Yuga personification, and then that person comes and gives the process for that particular Yuga. And then Lord Brahma has 100 years of his span, and those years have Kalpa and Vikalpa, which means day and night. Kalpa, where things are functioning, Vikalpa, when it's annihilated, it's sleeping stage. So in each Kalpa, there are 14 Manuj, and each Manu has 72 Divya Yuga. One Divya Yuga has 4 Yuga. So in all of those, so you can see we're talking about huge, big time span. So in each Manvantra, Lord comes. So that's what there are 14 Manvantra avatar, and these are the incarnations of, these are the names of Manvantra. So sometimes if there is qualified person, then they can come as Manvantra avatar. Otherwise, Lord personally comes. And then the last category is Saktavasis avatar. Saktavasis avatar are living entity. All of these other incarnations are Lord himself in various degree of his manifestation. But Saktavasis avatar are avatar of Lord, empowered soul. It has some component of Lord's empowerment, but the soul has been empowered. The person who is Saktavasis avatar is Jiv Tattva. That's what will help you understand. And perfect example is Divine Prabhupada. He did miracle. Or Jesus Christ, we also understand that Jesus Christ was Saktavasis avatar. Or there are many, uh, personality who are Sesa avatar. Now in Sesa avatar or Saktavasis avatar, there are various degree. Some who are more on the divine side, some who are more on the human side, and that depending on time, circumstances, and audience, Krishna decide that what type of empowerment should be given to fulfill the particular task that Lord wants to fulfill. So that's the basically layout. That is the layout which we are going to see. We'll see some of these names, but we should understand that these are the categories: Purusha Avatar, Leela Avatar, Guna Avatar, Yuga Avatar, Manmantra Avatar, and Saktyavises Avatar. These are the categories. They have particular function and purpose. And all of these incarnations that we are talking about, they are under material world. So these incarnations, Lord comes to this material world to deal with, Ravana or Kansa or Sisupal or Hinyaksha or Hinyakashpu. All of that Lord comes here to deal with. So with that, what I would like to do is that one of you, whoever would like to read, just go like one brah, the form of all sacrifice. So who is this person? We are talking about Lord Brah, and then some of his activities are here. So we can just read the name of the incarnation and then some of their functions. We'll keep on going. If anybody has anything that they would like to ask, they can ask. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead, finish reading these 39 verses, which will give us some degree of purification. So please, whoever would like, unmute yourself and start reading from top.
I will read.
Thank you.
Varaga, the form of all sacrifices, lifted the earth when it is drowned into the Garbhodaka ocean, pierced the first demon Hiranyaksha with his tusk. So Yajna, son of Ruchi and Akuti, begot demigods headed by Swayama in the womb of Dakshina. As Indra, he diminished the miseries in the three worlds, was called Hari by Swayambhuva Manu. Kapila, son of Kardama and Devahuti, spoke the science of self realization to his mother and liberated her in that very lifetime.
Some of that we have not heard it, but when we finish the second canto, third canto will begin with some of this. With this lineage of who is father, who is son. So like Ruchi and Akuti, all of that will let's start learning in beginning of third canto. Kapila is the content. Kapila is the subject. In fact, many chapters, almost 14 chapters Lord Kapila's teaching is presented in third canto, very powerful teaching to Mother Devavati. So all of that will come. Some of those we have seen, some of those we are going to see in future in the previous cantos. But for now, we have to just go through it to understand who they are and what are their principal activities. Mataji, please continue.
Dattatreya appeared before Atri and said, I have given myself to you. Therefore, he is Datta, purified Edu, Haihayas, etc. by his dust, and they obtained material and spiritual blessings. Four Kumaras appeared when Brahma underwent austerities for creation, clearly established the spiritual truth which was lost at the end of the previous kalpa. Naranarayana, son of Murti and Dharma, to exhibit his personal way of austerity and penance. Cupid and his associates could not break his vows. Great stalwarts like Shiva can vanquish lust but become overwhelmed by their own wrath. Such wrath can never enter the Lord's heart. So, how can the lust take shelter in his mind? कामं दहन्ति कृतिनो ननुरोष दृष्ट्या रोषं दहन्तम् उततेन दहन्ति अशग्यं सोऽयं यत् अनन्तरम् अलं प्रविशन् बिभेति काम कथं नु पुनरस्य मनः श्रयेत. Prishnigarbha awarded Dhruva Loka to Prince Dhruva.
Yeah.
Rishabhadev, son of Sudevi and Nabi, performed materialistic yoga as renunciation that is practiced by other sages, gave up material affection, had controlled senses, was situated in the self. Hayagriva. He is the personified sacrifices, Vedas, and super souls of all demigods. All the sweet sounds of Vedic hymns came from his breathing. Matsya will come at the end of the Vaivastava Manvantara to shelter all living entities. Vedas came out of Brahma's mouth when he was fearful of the water of annihilation, and the Lord, enjoying those waters, protected the Vedas. Kurma held up Mandara mountain on his back in Samutra Mantana. Moment of the mountain relieved the Lord of an itching sensation while he was partially sleeping. Nrsimhadev, to remove the fear of demigods, he killed Hiranyakashipu by placing him on his thigh and piercing him with his nails, rolling his eyebrows in anger, and showing his fearful teeth and mouth.
Jai Nrsimhadev. Nrsimha Chaturdashi is coming. Lord Nrsimhadev ki jai.
Jai. Hari Gajendra, being attacked by crocodile, prayed, O Adi Purusha, Akila Lokanatha, Tirtha Sravaha, Shravana Mangala Namadeya. Hearing Gajendra's prayer, the Lord appeared with his veil, killed the crocodile, and lifted the elephant. Vamanadeva came as the younger son of Aditi and surpassed all the qualities of the Adityas. On pretense of, on pretense of measuring 3 steps, took away all the land of Bali Maharaj. Bali did not think of anything, heaven or his spiritual master, beside his promise. He offered even his own body head for measurement. Amsavatara taught Narada about Bhakti Yoga which is especially understandable by pure devotee surrendered to Lord Vasudeva. Manvantaravatara comes as a descendant in Manu dynasty. In each Manvantara, subdues miscreants, rulers, his glory spread all over the three lokas. Manvantaravatara dev- comes as a descendant in Manu dynasty in each Manvantara, subdues miscreant rulers, his glory spread all over the three lokas. Dhanvantari quickly cures the living entities, disease simply by his fame, cause of long life for the demigods, inaugurated the medical science, Ayurveda, in the universe. Parashurama uprooted the Kshatriyas 21 times when they turned astray from the path of the absolute truth. Ramachandra, son of Dashratha in the Ikshvaku dynasty, went to the forest under father's order, vanquished Ravana, being aggrieved for Sita Devi, glanced over the ocean with red hot eyes. The ocean trembled in fear, curbed the pride of Ravana along with his life heir. Krishna, appearance, descent with his original beautiful hair, Sita Krishna Keshaha, to diminish the burden of the earth, along with his plenary portion, Balrama. Superhuman activities. All the activities of Lord Krishna are impossible for anyone else to perform. Killed Putana, overturned the cart, uprooted Arjuna trees, chastised Kaliya, saved the Vrajavasis from the forest fire simply by closing his eyes. Rope fell short when Mother Yashoda tried to bind him. Showed universes in his mouth, saved Nanda Maharaj from Varuna, released the Gopas from Vyomasura, awarded Vrajavasis promotion to the highest planet in the spiritual sky, proves his godhood. Stopped Indra Puja and held Govardhan Hill to protect the Vrajavasis when he was only 7 years old. Beheaded Sankachuda who kidnapped the damsels.
So Krishna's pastimes are given from verse number 26 to 35. That's what it means. So there are more verses dedicated to Lord Krishna by Lord Brahma. That's what that's what.
34 to 35, killed so many demons both in Vrindavan and outside, either personally or through his devotees like Baldev or Arjuna, and awarded them impersonal liberation or his personal abode. Vyasadeva, the Lord, considering his own compilation of the Vedas to be difficult for less intelligent people, he will divide the Vedas into three different branches for Kali Yuga people. Buddha bewilders the mind of atheists and preaches sub-religious principles when atheists, being well versed in the Vedas, destroy planets. Jiva Goswami, this Buddha appeared in a different Kali Yuga. Kalki, at the end of Kali Yuga, when there is no Harikada, Brahmanas have become heretical, kings are Sudras, and there are no sacrifices. The Lord will appear as the supreme chastiser. Gunavataras, at creation, penance, Brahma, Prajapatis, great sages who generate. During maintenance, Lord Vishnu, the demigods. At annihilation, Lord Shiva, and atheists full of anger, etc.
So Kalki, at the end of Kali Yuga, when there is no Hari Katha, right? So we hear people are not very interested. At least we are doing some Hari Katha. It's good our good fortune for us that we are doing. Brahmanas have become heretical. I have born into the Brahmana family, so I am Brahman, and they don't have Brahminical quality. And kings are big Shudras. So kings are supposed to be Kshatriya, but they have downgraded themselves and they are acting like a Shudra. And then there are no sacrifice. That's very important. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, right? Sacrifice is the cause of pleasure. Pleasant lifestyle would be when there are some sacrifices. And then the Lord will appear as Supreme Chastiser, as Kalki. Then he will kill all the living entity. Guna Avatar. So Guna Avatar, three Guna, right? At creation. So creation is coming Visarga from Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma is personification of penance. And from him Prajapati comes. And from him the seven sages, great sages comes. And that's how this creation comes into existence. So Canto second and third is basically going to teach us from here. In fact, after one chapter, we'll start hearing those Prajapatis and fourth canto, Daksha and Lord Shiva, all of that, will continue. So how this, uh, creation came into existence. That's the subject of Bhagavatam. And who maintains? Lord Vishnu. So throughout the Bhagavatam also, we'll hear, and many of the names that you saw here, Vamanavatар, we just saw Rishabdev, all of them, Lord Ramchand personally coming, the Prithu Maharaj, he's a Palan Shakti, Gyan Shakti is Lord Vyasdev, so Palan Shakti, and the strength, the potency that Lord has to protect and care living entity, Palan Shakti. Prithu Maharaj is personification of that. So multiple incarnations of Lord Vishnu will be given, and then annihilation, Pralaya. And Pralaya happens. We have talked about that there are four types of Pralaya. Pralaya is happening all the time, but then there will be final Atyantika Pralaya, when each universe has their life, and their life span is life of Lord Brahma. So how long this material world will function? 100 years of Lord Brahma. Now the 100 years is not like our 100 years, right? It's long, trillion years, 3.24 trillion years. It's very long. And in that, there is Kalpa, Vikalpa, Manvantara, and all of that. But at the end, when Lord Brahma's 100 years will be completed, then Lord Shiva will take over. And at that time, you can see the degradation that would happen to the society. And then final annihilation will happen. All these living entity who are positioned in different planetary system, since they have not engaged in the process of bhakti, they have not purified themselves. Since they have not purified themselves, they will go and finally merge into the body of Karnadakshay Vishnu. Garbhodakshay, all the super soul, which is Paramatma, finally they are nothing but Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Garbhodakshay Vishnu has come from Karnadakshay Vishnu. So when annihilation happens, from subtle everything is starting becoming grosser and grosser and grosser, and finally it comes into the body of Brahma. Brahma gets into the body of Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Garbhodakshay takes everything from this universe. Everything that we have in this universe is coming from Garbhodakshay Vishnu. So Garbhodakshay Vishnu, finally everything will, all the souls that we are, all the living entity who are not purified, they will all come to the body of Garbhodakshay Vishnu and go finally sleep for million years again in the body of Karnadakshay Vishnu. Again, when Kalpa will come, when Lord Brahma has to be created, the material world has to be created, then Lord again will exhale. All of the universes will come. And then the same process that we saw will start manifesting, and then living entity based upon their desired. They will start getting different abode. And then this material world will function, punarapi janamam, punarapi marnam. But there is one process to cross all of this and go at the feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is bhakti, pure bhakti. So you can see how complex this whole creation is. That's why this is the subject of Bhagavad Gita. Why we have to understand that? It's very important to understand that we as a living entity are entrapped into this material creation. And the process, Lord Burma also says here, it's very difficult. All these names he gives and he says very difficult. We'll study in the next class. It's very difficult, but through bhakti. And that's important also for us to understand. We'll focus on that. They will go and ultimate realization, final realization, back to home, back to Krishna. So only bhakti can help us cross all of these layers of creation. And this is in very technical way explained in fifth canto, which is subject of this discussion. Sixth canto we'll try to focus. So fifth canto will give us, and then there I'll show you a lot of slides, lot of information, Sisumara, how this creation comes, Bhumandala and Jambudip and all of that. We'll talk about it later. Loka mountain and all of the creation, Dhruva planet, where is Dhruva, and all of that we have to understand. And if you understand those things, then you would know that how much we are entrapped. Your false ego will subdue the ego that we have, the desire that living entity has to enjoy, that all will go away. And that's the purpose. The purpose of this learning is purification, transformation of our heart. That's what Lord Burma is saying, that by hearing this, one will be transformed. So we wanted to hear this. With that, I would like to pause here and see if there is any realization, any questions before we adjourn. So what I would like to do, since I'm doing this, I want to open this up for entire congregation. So maybe we'll start posting this Zoom link to our communication group and see if others on Sunday morning, they want to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. I think people should hear and learn Srimad Bhagavatam. Even they don't want to do the Bhakti Vaibhava course, they should know the subject. It will help them in future also. So with that, let's see if there is any realization, anything anybody has to share before we adjourn. I did not see Gopal to Prabhu today, and Ramkishore Prabhu, I don't know what happened. He also could not join. I'll reach out to him. So anybody, any realization, anything that you like from the discussion today? I didn't like anything.
So, Prabhuji, so regarding Guna Avatar is concerned, that is coming from three gunas, correct? Sattva, Rajo, and Tamo Guna.
Yeah, there are three gunas. So yes, that's correct. That's correct. So each guna has a person in charge of controlling. That's correct. Yes.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
So Vishnu, Brahma is passion, Vishnu is goodness, and Lord Shiva is ignorance. That's correct. Guna Avatar is coming from the guna. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Anybody has anything? Maturan Prabhu, you have anything that you want to share?
No, Prabhu, it's good. Just have to remember all this.
Yeah, we have to remember this, right? We need to remember this, yes, all the time, every time. We need to remember this. Yeah. Lord, Krishna also does a lot of sacrifice, to help the conditioned living entity. So some of the stubbornness that living entity has, we should also know the limitations. So yes, by remembering these forms and qualities and pastime will help us. Anybody, anything before we adjourn? Bimala Mataji, Santa Mataji, Ramana Sarbabu, do you have anything to share?
No, Prabhuji. Actually, I have one question. So, Lord Vishnu asked, so he gave order to Brahma to create the entire world, right? Like, and he gave all this material, and then, from that, like, yeah, okay. So all this process of like human life and all came from there, right? But
The
before that,
body.
actually, the bodies and all. But before that, the souls were already there, right?
Yeah,
Souls are not.
soul.
He did not make anything to the souls.
Yeah, souls were there. So that's what I was telling at the last part, that soul has desire, ichha, and desire of the soul is that I want to enjoy, I want to be independent, I want to get away, I want to make my own world, become the president of the country and prime minister of the country. All of the desire soul has. So as long as soul has material desire, it's contaminated, and with contamination, it goes back to the body of finally when final annihilation happens, it goes back to the body of Karnodaksha Vishnu and it stays in the sleeping stage for millions of years. Exhale period and inhale period. So when Lord is inhaling, all the annihilation happens. In fact, everything gets into the body of Karnodaksha Vishnu, the whole universe. That's power. That's the strength of annihilation. I don't know how strong is that annihilation. And the time that Lord has for annihilation is also time of this material world. The same time of annihilation, inhale and exhale has same time. So when Lord will inhale, everything will go in the body and stay in the body of Lord Karnadaksha Vishnu. The soul goes, soul which are not purified will go in the body of Karnadaksha Vishnu. And then we'll sleep, in the sleeping stage. We all are put into the sleeping stage. Right now, we are in acting stage. We have a body, we have senses, we have intelligence, mind, false ego, and it's making us act. Soul is acting right now. All of us are in acting stage. And when annihilation will happen, if you have not purified yourself, then you'll go back. You'll go back to the body of Karnadaksha Vishnu and put into sleeping stage. Again, when Lord exhales, comes out, and then the soul gets body. So finally, everything gets into their subtlest form. Gross to, remember I said that annihilation happens, from gross to subtle. Finally, everything. So subtlest form of our body is soul. So our identity is going to be retained in the soul. That's what, basically also is Kapila teaching to Mother Devavati, that what happens, how we take different body. Kapila is explaining the same concept that we are talking here. Yes, Prabhu. We don't go out. We stay still up to Karnadaksha Vishnu. Follow up.
So,
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, so continuing with that, the Garbhadaksha Vishnu is the one who's obviously Garbhadaya Vishnu is the one who's doing the primary creation. The souls are uh, entered in Karnadaksha Vishnu. So how's that soul from there comes out, and then Brahma gives the material, and then souls are they get into that material element. What's the process there? I'm sure there must be some details.
Yeah. There are. I think we have talked about it. Let me see if I have that in my slide here, Prabhuji. If no, yeah, here I have it. Okay, Can I share the slide a little bit?
Just bring.
Okay, I'll share this slide. I found that picture. So remember seeing this slide, Prabhuji? We have
Yeah.
brought it many. Oh, I don't know. It's not showing when I put it into the presentation mode. I have to go back, Prabhuji. 1 minute.
Yeah, as you are searching that. But what about
This one.
Yes.
This is everything, Prabhuji.
Okay.
So yes, Prabhuji. Continue. Ask, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji, one more question. Okay, so all the Vaishnavas, okay, who are the pure devotees of Lord Krishna, so we don't get into Karnodaksha Vishnu's body, but yeah, we'll directly go to the Goloka. So there are other devotees like who are the worshippers of Lord Shiva or like other demigods. Even all their souls, like where do they go at the time
Brahman,
of?
depending on what is your object of worship, Fuji.
Uh-huh.
So here, so if we focus on this one, then this will help us understand everything. It will answer your question and it will answer Tulan Prabhu's question also. So we are, you see, are you seeing here my cursor, Prabhuji?
Yep.
So this is one universe. So this is one universe, which is our universe. Okay. This universe has 14 planets, 7 lower planet and 7 upper planets. Okay. And the portion of this universe is the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who has expanded from Karnodakshai Vishnu. Okay. So this whole structure is retained by Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So when annihilation happens, this whole structure will annihilate. So there are living entities in different planetary system, Helix planet, Earth planet, and higher planet. All of them will finally merge into the body of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And then Garbhodakshai Vishnu will finally go, and since he has come from, if you see this slide here, since Garbhodakshai Vishnu has come from Karnodakshai Vishnu, he will go, they are the same. He will go into the Karnodakshai Vishnu. So you can see these universes coming at the time of annihilation, these universes are going back. So at the time of creation, they are coming out. At the time of annihilation, they are going back. So when they are going back, it's going back with Garbhodakshai Vishnu. When it's coming out to Garbhodakshai Vishnu. That's how we have to understand. That's how Shastra says. So all of them goes back into Karnodakshai Vishnu. Now, the living entity who are not purified, they are still entrapped into this material creation. Okay, you are entrapped into this material creation. So you cannot go beyond the body of Karnodakshai Vishnu, which is in the sleeping stage, not in the active stage. In the sleeping stage, so you would not know that you are in the body of Karnodakshai Vishnu. You only know when you are put into the active stage by Lord Brahma. So you go to Karnodakshai Vishnu if you are not purified. Now, the second part. What happens if somebody is purified? Yes, that purification, if you are worshipping Krishna as Brahman, then you merge into Brahma Jyoti. Are you seeing here? It says Brahma Jyoti.
Yep.
Please say yes. Yes. So
Yes,
if you,
Prabhuji.
so this is Brahma Jyoti. Okay. So you'll merge into Brahma Jyoti. Okay. So this Karna ocean, you see this line that I have here, this is material creation. So soul, if is not purified, will be still under material creation. But if you have purified and if you have worship, Lord is one with living entity, that is same form, then you merge into this light. If you have worship Lord Vishnu, Lord Ramchandraji, Narsimha, Bamandev, any form of Lord Vishnu, that's why it says that one should, as long as one is worshipping form of Lord Vishnu, very good. So then if you have worship any form of Lord Vishnu, any form, many form that we saw, then you go to Vaikuntha here. And if you have purified worshipping Lord Krishna, then you go to Goloka here. So this lotus that you are seeing is Goloka. This circle that you see here with some star, that is Vaikuntha. And right below there is Brahman Jyoti. And between Brahman Jyoti and Vaikuntha, there is another abode that's called Kailas, where Lord Shiva is staying at Adi Shiva form. So now you will ask, what will happen to those who are worshipper of Lord Shiva? They are right, since they worship Lord Shiva in his personal form, they go to Shiva abode. So right after Brahman Jyoti, so that abode is higher than Brahman Jyoti. Right after, you see here, this is Kailas. Are you seeing this, Prabhu? K, I've written K.
Yep.
That is Kailas. So that's the place where uh, Lord Shiva worshipper will go. Likewise, Durga worshipper and all other worshipper, they will be still, they will go to the abode of Lord Durga, but those are still within the periphery of material world. So only goal that are out of domain of the material creation is Brahm Jyoti or Adi Shiva, Kailas, or Bhagwan, Vishnu's abode, or finally, Lord Krishna board. So in fact, this is the Shastric teaching, but same teaching, in different language are presented in different way. Like, Krishna will say hell is or heaven. So when they say hell, they are saying, you get caught here. When they say heaven, they are saying that you go out of the material creation. Now, depending on what is their mode of worship, they can go to maybe Brahman Jyoti. Most of the Islamic faith is up to Brahman Jyoti. That's what I have understood. But if they are worshipping Shiva or other personal form, depending on how they worship, they can go to other personal form too. So that's what is it. That's how it is. That's how we have to understand. Adulan Prabhu, is clear or no? So
Yes,
the way
Prabhu.
it has come, the way it has come, the way it will go. From Karnodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu comes. From Gaudakshai Vishnu, Chodakshai Vishnu comes. Chodakshai Vishnu is with each living entity.
Hmm.
Garbhodakshai Vishnu is that particular universe. And
But
Karnodakshai Vishnu is for the entire universe. So that's how
okay,
it is.
okay,
For
sir.
living entity, for one universe, and for every universe. Okay. So when annihilation happens, living entities will merge into Garbhodakshai Vishnu because they have come from there. And finally, for Garbhodakshai Vishnu, as you can see here, he will go and, they are same, at the time of creation, Karnodakshai Vishnu, the Vishnu has expanded. And when time comes to contract, he will just bring everything, all of his Shakti. So, in one sense, everything that's happening in your life or in this abode or in this material world is all because of the presence of Vishnu. That's why we say that it's all Krishna. Sarva Karan Karanam. Is clear or no? If not, I can spend some time explaining.
It's clear.
But
Thank you.
that's how it is. So our goal is basically, if you go back to this slide here, our goal, we are somewhere here, okay? And through process of bhakti, Earth planet is here, right? This is what I'm showing here. This is Earth planet. If you see the dotted line, so living entity from Earth planet, if they are engaged into the mundane activity, abominable activity, they will go to hellish planet. So from Earth planet, you can go even lower. Or if you are engaged in charity or helping the mankind, something that is still in the guna, then you go to higher planet. Prabhupada and our teaching, Mahaprabhu's teaching is that don't get caught into this hellish planets or higher planet thing. It's same thing. Either you go to higher planet or hellish planet. Just the difference is that there will be more opulences, but you are still within the universe. This concept is very clear. So do pure bhakti on the earth planet and cross all of this. Okay. So when you do pure bhakti, when you are pure devotee, when you leave this body, you will cross all of this, and then finally get delivered at the feet of Krishna. So that's what we're talking about. That's why pure devotee we need to be to get there. Otherwise, it depends. Lord mercy, he can add some of our deficiency and still deliver. This slide is very technical slide and it has a lot of information. Helps most of the and the same presentation is here in different format. This is our latest Goloka chart. This is old Goloka chart. But more or less concept is very similar. Clear, Prabhuji? Okay, thank you. So
this NASA and this scientist, they're finding like some other similar kind of earth.
it's all within.
Kind of Earths. Yeah. So in the
It's all within
that
this
is within the
circle,
same
Prabhu.
universe.
Yeah, it's all within this. The science again. That's very good that you brought it. Science cannot go beyond this, universe. Okay,
Yeah.
science cannot cross. I don't know if I have the picture or not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, science cannot go beyond this universe. No, science will stay within. So everything that they are talking and finding, and they are coming up with. You seeing this picture here? It's all within this here. There are again a lot of things that is presented in fifth canto. I'm running late, but I can, maybe next slide I can show you. All of that they are finding is still within this circle. This is a better way. Nothing beyond. Yeah. Everything, either lower planetary, higher planetary, all of that. Only bhakti can cross and take us. Yeah. And take us here. Thank you. So we'll adjourn here and we'll continue if there is anything more. I know we are we have to have multiple cantos that we have to go through. So these things will become more clear. But thank you for asking. वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, सम्मल भक्तवृंद की जय. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. धन्यवाद. हरि बोल.
Thank you.
Hare